Hello, welcome to my case brief. Today I'm going to discuss this case, PLIVA Incorporated versus Mensing, which was argued and decided in 2011. The petitioners of this case were PLIVA Incorporated and Adverse Elizabeth LLC. They are manufacturers of generic metoclopramide. The respondents of this case were Gladys Mensing and Julia Demahi. They are users of generic metoclopramide produced by the petitioners. Metoclopramide is a drug commonly used to treat digestive tract problems. Under the brand name Regram, it was approved by FDA in 1979. 5 years later, generic manufacturers such as the petitioners also began to produce this drug. Years later, because of accumulating evidence that long-term metoclopramide use can cause cardiac dyskinesia, a severe neurological disorder. Warning labels for the drug have been strengthened and clarified for several times. First in 1985 and most recently in 2009. The respondents of this case were prescribed Regram in 2001 and 2002, but both received generic drug from their pharmacists. After taking the drug for 7 years, both developed tardive dyskinesia. In several statutory actions issued the petitioners, its respondent against the idea that long-term metoclopramide use caused her disorder and that the petitioner were liable under the statute for failing to provide adequate warning labels. In both suits, the petitioner urged that whether statutes and FDA regulations preempted the statute claims by requiring the same safety and efficacy labeling for generic metoclopramide as was mandated at the time for Regram. The Fifth and Eighth Circuit rejected the manufacturer's argument and held that Mensing and Demahi's claims were not preempted. The petitioners took their appeal to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court did the preemption analysis for the key issue that did the federal statutes and FDA regulations preempt the respondents' statute claims. Their answer is yes. It's impossible for the manufacturers to comply with both their state law duty to change the label and their federal law duty to keep the label the same. So the Supreme Court held that the judgment of the Fifth and Eighth Circuit was reversed and remanded. This is the rationale of Supreme Court. First, under federal drug regulations, as interpreted by the FDA, the manufacturers were prevented from independently changing their generic drug safety labels. As such, manufacturers were not permitted to issue additional warnings through their doctor letters. Second, where state and federal law directly conflict with, state law must give away. Third, federal drug regulations applicable to generic drug manufacturers directly conflict with and thus preempts these state claims. Therefore, it is not lawful under federal law for the manufacturers to do what the state law required. Finally, I want to mention that this judgment is a bad news for the consumers. The consumers have to read the warnings of brand drugs before taking the generic drug in future, and many of them might not realize it. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for listening, and all questions are welcome. Bye-bye.